Hello ladies and gentlemen, here I am, Diego Acosta, presenting you another tutorial. This time guys, we're going to talk about adding reverb to a track. In this case would be the vocal track. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to process these in parallel. I'm going to create an auxiliary track, stereo, and I'm going to find a reverb. I'm going to go to reverb and I'm going to use the default that comes with Pro Tools called Reverb. It launches up. I'm gonna set the input for it. I'm gonna look for a bus that is not being used, in this case bus 1 and 2. I'm gonna press command and click on the solo so it becomes solo isolation. As we've referred before, we always want to label the tracks so that they make sense of what they are. And because I've chosen here for the input bus 1 and 2, I'm gonna go into the vocal track and I'm going to send that to go to bus 1 and 2 as well. By default, this is post fader because pre is not on. That means that the signal that is going to go to this one, I'm pressing command, click on it so that we can see it as a fader. It means that after this signal will go to this one and we'll have to bring it up. I'm going to hit play and I'm going to start bringing up the sound so that we can start hearing that reverb and we're going to see the signal show up here. I'm going to go a little over. I'm going to exaggerate a little bit until we hear it, and then I'm going to go back off.
Bulletproof and armored vest, some strong as whiskey, yeah, brighter than a sunset.
So that's a nice hole. I hope that you all heard it. It was a little too bright for me, so I'm going to tweak this in a couple of ways. I'm going to cut a little bit of those high frequencies and apply a low pass filter. A little too bright. And I like to many times add an EQ beforehand just to clean a little bit of the information that is going into it. So I'm going to put a high pass filter, probably something like that, and clean a little bit of the high frequencies as well. Let's add it to taste.
Bulletproof and armored vest, some strong as whiskey, yeah, brighter than a sunset. Deeper than the ocean, nice. Gets never-ending feelings of forever.
She's still in front.
Never giving up this.
Now she has a little bit of this
permanently doing it together, doing it just right.
Dry. It's not too much. Adding to taste.
Nowadays we're in the clouds, higher than the stars, hang out, feeling good without a doubt.
I like that, and I'm gonna actually option drag these to the guitars that are now starting to sound a little dry, and I'll play with the volume for the guitars as well. These two are going into the reverb.
Bulletproof and armored vest, some strong as whiskey, yeah, brighter than a sunset. Deeper than the ocean, gets never-ending feelings of forever.
I like that. The beautiful thing is that many times you can combine reverbs, and this time I'm going to add a new track, again stereo auxiliary. I'm going to set a new input for that track, and in this case will be the next ones that are not being used, 3 and 4. I'm going to option copy this reverb, but this time I'm going to change it to a plate sound. This reverb has emulations of a hole, a church, a plate, which are two metal plates. I'll add a picture so that you guys can see what a plate is. I'm going to make another video on just talking about reverbs, room sounds, ambient, and nonlinears. This one is a shorter reverb, 2.5 seconds of decay. The other one was 4.5, so we should hear the difference. And I will copy the EQ as well. I normally don't like the low end on the reverbs, and I'm probably exaggerating, but you guys got the idea. This one could be a little brighter. Again, I'm gonna press command click on the S. This one I'm gonna call it plate, and I'm actually gonna go back to the previous one and I'm gonna label it hole. Now that I have more than one reverb, I prefer to know what is what. I'm making a mistake on these two, and it is the routing. Instead of going to the 2 bus, they're going straight out. So if I were to do the mix, they will not be printed. And I'm going to change that. I have selected the 2, so I can do it at the same time. And I'm going to press Shift Option so that both of them are affected at the same time. And I'm going to go to my bus 21, which is my 2 bus. And being there, I'm gonna right click on it, rename it, and say tubas. So now I see that all my tracks are going to the tubas except for my talkback, which I'm okay not being part of this mix. Let's hear the, oh, we will not hear it until I add now the bass 3 on the vocal. Let's see, and again, I'm gonna exaggerate on this one. I'm gonna mute the first one just so that we can hear just the plate. I could have muted either on the return, which is this one, or I could have a command click on the send or mute here. Either one would have worked.
Bulletproof and armored vest.
Option click sends it to 0.
As whiskey, yeah, brighter than a sunset.
Nice rich plate.
Deeper than the ocean, gets never
without the EQ.
Never giving up.
See, I get a little bit. It doesn't sound as clean anymore.
Doing it just right.
It's a little bright to my taste. This is completely up to you.
Nowadays we're in the clouds, higher than
completely
the
dry.
stars hang.
Let's add to taste.
Feeling good, without a doubt. Loving how this love feels now. Never letting go of our forever. Never letting go for life. Permanently doing it together, yeah.
I added the whole.
Bulletproof and armored vest.
I can back off a little bit on the whole now.
Whiskey, yeah, brighter than a sunset, deeper than the ocean.
With no reverbs.
Never ending feelings of forever. Never giving up this
Back the
life.
reverbs.
Permanently doing it together.
Let's try that on the acoustics.
It just right. Nowadays we're in the clouds, higher than the stars hang out, feeling good without a doubt. Loving how this love feels now, never letting go of our.
Adding reverbs in parallel. The beautiful thing about having them here in as sense is that I can add that or those effects to any track that I want. I would just have to go as I did with the guitar or the vocals to bus 1, and let's right click on it and rename it. Would be called whole. And the other one, right click on it, rename, would be called plate. So this is how I add reverb to the tracks. I hope that you're getting something out of this. Please drop your comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.